Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Tuesday the 27th of December 2016 and we are reflecting on the Dow Jones and S&P 500 markets. We have a busy schedule of videos during the course of this week. However, during this Christmas break, we thought we'd just share our thoughts, read the stock markets, and especially those in the US, which are the ones we see influencing most of the world. Unless, of course, there is a catastrophe in China or Europe, which we do not envisage at this time. Please forgive us on this occasion, as we are not necessarily looking at hard data to support what we're going to say, but are just musing on our own personal and, yes, subjective thoughts, but thoughts which are based on looking at these issues for many years. Sometimes, you know, we may all suffer from analysis paralysis, and occasionally it helps to remove oneself somewhat and try and look at things from a common sense perspective. Firstly, all of those who predict the end of the financial world as we know it often have an agenda. So, too, do those who say there is nothing wrong with the economy. The reality is that in 2008, the world's economic infrastructure collapsed. We should have witnessed mass bankruptcies, the collapse of most banks, and economic carnage would have ensued as people would not have been able to access their funds. This was not allowed to happen. The reason, not because the mega wealthy wanted to exploit the situation, but because no one knew how it was actually going to end. There could have been multiple civil wars, and who knows, perhaps even nuclear war. And even the most wealthy amongst us could find it difficult to protect themselves in such situations. So what we had instead was the bailing out of financial institutions by printed money, which we all know is only worth something while people still have confidence in it, in order to enable the current order of things to continue until an alternative system can be implemented in its place. It is against this background we would like you to consider our musings. We are now virtually at the end of 2016, and if you look back through previous years, you will see that all of the doom and gloom merchants are out predicting the end of the world in the coming year. Well, at least economically. Why do they do this? Because it didn't happen this past year or last year when they predicted the same. And they are now hoping that perhaps after 5 to 8 years of wrong predictions, they may eventually be right. Now, please do not mistake what we're going to say for suggesting you should not be prepared for the worst. You should always be prepared for the worst. But as a contingency, not necessarily an inevitability. We have seen stock markets hit record highs, and even today, US stocks rose slightly, supported by upbeat consumer and housing data, with gains in technology shares lifting the Nasdaq Composite to a record close. At just over 4 billion shares traded, it was one of the lowest volume sessions of 2016. Data announced today showed America's consumer confidence shooting to its highest level in more than 15 years in December, as they saw more strength ahead in business conditions, stock prices, and the job market, while house prices continued their steady recovery in October. US equities have been riding a post-presidential election rally, feeding on optimism that Donald Trump's plans for deregulation and infrastructure spending could bolster the economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 11 points to 19,945. The S&P 500 gained 5 points to 2,268. And the Nasdaq added 24 points to 5,487. As already mentioned, just over 4 billion shares changed hands on US exchanges, below the 7 billion daily average over the last 20 sessions. Volume this week last year averaged 5 billion stocks daily. The S&P posted 23 new 52-week highs and 1 new low. The Nasdaq Composite recorded 174 new highs and 25 new lows. Of course, this cannot continue indefinitely, and some traders are already speaking about using these highs as an opportunity for profit-taking. There are concerns about the incoming Trump presidency and his rhetoric against China and the inferred promise to re-engage the nuclear arms race. And yet there is a core belief amongst a large number of people in America that Trump can deliver the economic miracle that many credit Ronald Reagan with having achieved. We have our doubts. However, what we think doesn't matter. We believe stocks will continue their upward trend with some minor corrections in between. Frankly, we hope what we predict happens, as it will serve to push precious metal prices even lower and enable those who perhaps are light in their portfolio an opportunity to catch up. That said, whilst we see an upside in the various stock market indices, we are also very much aware that some of the share prices are not justified by the underlying company earnings. So beware if you are tempted to enter this marketplace, as we are entering dangerous territory. Not for an economic collapse, but certainly a stock market correction. We see this occurring sometime in 2017, but as our other videos will reveal, we also do not see the economic collapse that the doom and gloom merchants are predicting. We have some interesting quotes and predictions on gold and silver, which are currently standing at $11.38 and $15.97 respectively, to come. These are our general thoughts, and we hope you tune in to our other videos to see more precisely the data upon which we base these thoughts. By the way, we are sincerely grateful for the comments you are placing under our videos. And please, if you do not get an immediate response, it's not because we aren't reading them. It's just that in recent weeks our subscriber numbers have grown substantially, and the comments are increasing at such a pace we are playing catch-up at the moment, while also producing new and hopefully relevant videos. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumb up and share it on Twitter. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe as a free member for regular email updates and offers. Our Facebook page, which is updated daily, can be found at facebook.com/illuminatisilver. Disclaimer. Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice, and merely represent the personal views of its owners.